Hello everyone, and welcome to On Sprue Review. My name's Violet Sun, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Chaos Space Marine Warpsmith from Games Workshop for the Warhammer 40,000 system. At the time of recording, this model isn't available separately, only as part of the Eldritch Omens box. As such, I've not got a box to show you, and I've not even got instructions. I purchased just the sprue from a seller on eBay. But let's have a look at it anyway. First up, it's 25 parts, with some of those being optional pieces. So relatively high parts count. I think it's pretty reasonable given the dynamic nature of this figure and the amount of kind of extra limbs and bits and pieces he has. Let's start off by having a little look at the main body. He's quite a tall chap, very much in scale with the largest of the Marines that they've been producing for the Chaos Space Marines. It's in sort of a Mark III kind of armour. It's definitely hit as a Chaos Warpsmith. He's obviously done a lot of modifications to his own armour. Some quite nice chainmail detail. On a front tabard, and the rest of that detail is on a separate piece, along with his shin and one of his knees, which has, of course, obligatory skulls because it's a Games Workshop model for 40k. One of my favourite parts of this model is his backpack. He has all of these mechandrites and lots of pipes, and in fact a whole cloak of pipes with different connectors and bits that all flow down his back, and it's very different to the rest of the Chaos Space Marine line. He's quite unique, quite different to the Space Marine version of this model, which is the Tech Marine, who doesn't have quite the same stylings. This is very similar to the previous model, which I believe was originally metal and then became fine cast. This detail's much sharper. I've got one of the older models in my Iron Warriors army, and it's just a huge improvement to the previous model. Now, I mentioned optional parts. Some of the options you get are 2 different heads. This one is an unhelmeted one, although he has very, very angry face grill and bionic eyes. And the backside of the sculpt has a lot of cables and pipes all coming out of the back of his head to join up his armour, which is obviously very much fitting in with the detail on the rest of the model. As mentioned before, his suit's quite a hybrid of different marks, and this helmet really nicely shows that with very asymmetrical, vertically separated helmet halves with different face plates on each side. Some more optional parts here. You get 3 shoulder pads, and despite being a follower of the Chaos Gods, this chap's only got 2 arms still, so you get to pick which of these 3 you like most. Got this nice cog tooth pattern around the top, which is a little bit different to the standard fare on the Chaos Space Marines, although these do fit the kind of newer pattern with this little notched cut in the front. Which really, I think, really makes these look different to the standard Space Marine fare, because you can get this kind of raised edge on regular Space Marine pauldrons as well. Here you've got 2 with this kind of layered armoured look, and 1 blank, presumably so you can put on some iconography of your own choosing. Much easier to get a transfer to lay flat on this rather than trying to get it onto all this detail. Although I'm sure you could, and if you're freehanding, putting a some sort of symbol on this wouldn't be too hard. I think I'll be using the extra detail parts, why not? Even more optional parts, the Hefted Weapon this Warpsmith comes with has two different heads. You get an axe style with a very pointed, jaggedy, cog-shaped blade on the end, and a hammer as well. I believe this kind of more shaped bit is the face of the hammer. And sketched around the sprue, there are all of these really nicely detailed mechadendrites. This one's got kind of some demonic-y, fleshy growths on it. You've got a nice pinchy mouth on this one, a drill tip. I believe that part is additional part to this. That's by far the smallest, most delicate piece on the entire sprue. I have to be very careful clipping that away so I don't damage it, and so it doesn't go pinging off into my carpet, never to be seen again. This figure's got quite a lot of his backpack actually built into the back of his torso, extra smokestacks and whatnot. I think this would make this quite a tough figure to do a lot of conversion work with. I think if you're going to build this figure, this backpack is so built as part of him, you'd really struggle to do anything different without, I don't know, you could probably get in here with a saw and cut all of this away, but it'd be a lot of work to use a different style of backpack on him. And his other weapon is a plasma pistol, and you get a really nice bionic arm holding it. I really like the pistons and such like you've got actual gaps all the way through. Really shows that this is not, an armoured arm, it is a robotic one. I haven't actually shown the legs of this figure. They're mostly built into the torso, but you've got some separate pieces, and they're very big, heavy boots, and he's got these blades built into the side, presumably for both extra grip and for stomping on people with. Chaos Space Marines are mean like that. And with that, I think I've pretty much looked at this model. It's a lot of nice detail. It is a bit of a retread of the previous figure, but I think in quite a nice way. It's good to have some of these figures updated. The previous one, I think, I'm very certain was a metal figure originally, which does date it back quite some while. And of course, with the ever-increasing size of figures, having the kind of relics in the line does cause some problems. And now let's move on to the section of the video where I tell you what I'm going to do with this figure. As you might have guessed, because I particularly sought out to buy this figure, I am looking to actually build it and put it into my collection. I do have an Iron Warriors army, and I'm renowned for having a lot of Warpsmiths, but my Iron Warriors army is a lot of older 2nd and 3rd edition models, so this guy would be, towering and imposing as leader figures ought to be. However, I've been building Fabius Bile and his consortium as portrayed in the Josh Reynolds novels, which I highly recommend if you like your Chaos Space Marines and stories that make you root for the worst of the worst bad guys. So I think I'm going to try and build this into a character called Zemisky's Flay, who is an Iron Warriors apothecary, who also dabbles in a lot of technology. So he's going to be accounts as Warpsmith in the army, but he's going to have a lot of apothecary gear as well. I've got a few bits and pieces that I think I'll use for that from other kits, but I think I don't need to do a huge amount with him. I'm probably going to use a different helmet, as the character I want to portray is actually described as having a traditional Mark III helmet, which I think will look absolutely fine on this model, and I think that will really fit in with the aesthetic of his armor. I might be doing a little bit of a weapon swap on this model. The character that I want to depict is often mentioned as just carrying a bolt gun. Obviously, Warpsmiths have quite a few weapons just built into their profile. I think because of the mechadendrites are kind of assumed to be all sort of nasty, flamers and melter guns and stuff built into their specialized equipment. So I'm see what I do with it. Overall, I think it's a really great model. Hopefully it will get a proper release, eventually alongside a new Chaos Codex. I think we're looking at seeing one of those very soon. Can't be that far off, mostly because there aren't that many more codexes to do this edition. If you've made it this far into the, I'd like to say thank you very much. I hope it's been of use to you having a little look at this figure. If you found something useful in my video analysis of this figure, please a like on the video. And if you want to see me take a little in-depth look at some more sprues, I'm going to be hopefully out videos on a weekly basis. So if you subscribe, hopefully YouTube will tell you when new videos have come out. And of course, if you like this model, or if you already have this model, I would love to hear what you're planning to do with it in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.